Okay, hi Aquarius, and welcome to your August 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about the month ahead of August. I hope you're all feeling really well this month. What a wonderful, impactful, and empowering period of time coming in for you. This is going to be Leo season, moving into Virgo season, of course, so we are on your axis this month. I hope that you are enjoying the empowerment that is coming in for you. You've got the Sun, the World as major arcana cards coming up, and you are maybe getting a huge dose of purpose or a huge dose of motivation coming in very quickly, or at least by the second week of August. As usual, I'm going to be talking about general intuitive messages for you all in this month, and I'm going to then do a week-to-week forecast, and we'll do an extended on Patreon. So this is a very much a coming of age month for Aquarian people. We have 2 planets retrograde in your sign for the entire month. So the entirety of your nature or the archetype of Aquarius is getting some renovation perhaps, or there's a looking back or a rethinking of certain commitments that's coming up right now. And if something is feeling difficult or if something is feeling kind of imbalanced, I would think that would be expected, or that would be a very integral part of your growth process right now. So if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling unsure about whether to end something or to move on or whether to stay where you're at, I don't think that it's actually a bad thing. I think that in some way it ends up being a backhanded fortune for you, and it ends up being a benefit, even if right now it's feeling kind of heavy. Okay, so with Jupiter and Saturn both being retrograde in your sign, there could be heaviness. There could be also like thinking twice about something, or having second thoughts, having doubts about choices. But I think it's really important to not be discouraged by that, rather to be impressed or satisfied with your sort of comprehensive view, or your ability to see things from so many different perspectives. So what I'm being led to say for Aquarius is that September, October, and November are going to give you a huge spike, a huge leg up, a huge elevation, and we're going to really see some bright shining Aquarian moments. But in order to generate that experience, there is some looking back required here, or there is some balancing, or I want to say there is some acceptance of what can and cannot be a part of your experience that needs to at least be realized now, even if the change can't yet be made. So that's a big collective issue right now. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, wow, I'm just realizing that the previous dream was never really something I actually wanted. It was like a societal want. I'm seeing a lot of people thinking that their current career is not satisfactory, but they can't exactly just upend their lives right now because they feel that way. So if you are feeling that way, I would definitely start to look toward your season. So January and February of 2022, and think about if you are still willing to be in this place, or if you feel good like 20 years from now, as we are starting a 20-year cycle. Whenever Jupiter and Saturn are in the same sign, it takes them 20 years to come back together again. So we are, many of us, setting 20-year cycles into place right here and right now. And do we like how that is giving us trajectory? Do we like what it builds in the future? Do we feel good about it? Okay, because we have the ability over this next 2 years, so that 10%, that 2-year period within the larger 20-year cycle, to make any needed changes, to, because it's not really set in stone at this point in time. We're generating it. We're choosing in the present moment of 2021, especially, how we would like to see that go. So choice making will be coming up for you in August. And then for the rest of the year, there could be a winding down and a refocusing, or a transference of how you want to invest your energy. The World and the Sun coming up as your 2 major arcana cards is very benevolent, very auspicious. It says that you know what to end and you know what to keep on doing. Okay, I'm tempted in the month of August to make a video about how to continue things, how to keep on keeping on, basically, because we're so focused on changes and transformations and shifts in this, I guess, sector of astrology and healing methods, we are very focused on the time where life changes us and where we have to shift into something. And I do think that while we might all know that we want to change things, there is a need to really understand how to continue and how to get those changes at the right time, how to be good with our timing. So hit the thumbs up or comment below on this video if you would like a video about how to continue on with something that you might know has a shelf life, or you might know that it's not forever but still has to be worked on at this point. I think that is the main thing that Aquarius energy is trying to teach us, is timing in that regard. So there's something that you're masterful at with the World, Six of Pentacles, the Sun coming up. You have gained some kind of mastery in some type of field or industry. And that mastery doesn't need to just be turned off. I think it just maybe needs a transfer, or it needs to be projected in a slightly different way. But seeing where your mastery lies is an important part of August, especially in Leo season, because you've got to rise to some kind of challenge, or you've got to be present for some type of decision-making process. This could be in the family. You might be asked to be like the decision maker for someone in your family. You might be also asked for like a loan of money or something. I'm seeing with Six of Pentacles, the World, the Sun, people are maybe looking to you to receive. Okay, so that could be someone asking you to help them move, someone asking for a loan of money, someone asking for your time with something. And I would try to be hesitant with that, or I would be careful about it, because your sign is the most empowered sign in 2021, Jupiter and Saturn being there, and Pluto getting closer and closer every day. So with that power comes people who want a piece of that, So careful with giving it all away, or allowing someone else to benefit from your hard work unjustly. All right. Make sure things regarding like contracts or regarding loans or debts, Six of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. It's a very money-oriented month for Aquarius, actually. Time, money, energy. What contracts are you partaking in? Are you well represented in your contractual obligations? That's the most important thing to think about this month. Is it fair? Is your rate, I don't know, if you're someone that charges by the hour for what you do, is that too high? Like, is that rate unfairly inflated? Or also, is it too low? Is it not something that values you? You've got to find balance there. As I'm actually seeing the Justice card in my mind psychically for Aquarius as well. It's been coming up in some of the other readings. So we have to now be balanced enough in chemical structure, in health, in relationships, to know what our services or our time is truly worth in a contractual sense. So food for thought. Any other intuitive messages before we get into the week to week? You also have some type of knowledge that is evocative of mastery as well. King of Swords stands out to me, and I'm thinking with Six of Wands reversed also being near that, rooting that down actually, you might not actually be confident enough in your knowledge, or you might need to get more confident in your knowledge. Like, there's something like mathematician about your vibe, like super sciencey, super intellectual, but maybe you're not really playing that up. Like, you might have all that knowledge inside, but there might be a more meek voice behind it, or you might be hesitant to really input your voice. So don't silence yourself. Like, I think that Aquarians need to speak up right now. And I think even though these retrogrades might also say, like, be careful about, speaking too soon, or, be careful about losing track of your words, or being too, what's the word? It's not unthoughtful, but you do also have to be very clear with what you're saying, and you have to sort of have some foreshadowing or forbearance with your words too. Like, it can't just come out of nowhere, but there still seems to need to be something said as well. So balance. It's coming up over and over again. And I suppose that the Six of Pentacles is also the minor arcana Justice card as well. You've got the scales in balance as a symbol in that card. So Aquarius is really called to balance right now and called to not overvalue or undervalue uh, certain presences in your life as well. So also not just like themes of money, but the value or the way that you value people in your life as well, like undervaluing or overvaluing. Like you could have a friend right now who only is leeching off of you, yet you overvalue them due to the history of the relationship. Like they only want to come to your house to like sleep on your comfortable couch or something. Like that's the only reason that they're there. Or they only want to come to your house to like use the Wi-Fi or something. It's the only reason that they're there. But you're like, back in 2009, that person came to bat for me. And that was at this point in time like 12 years ago. But like, even though they don't even look at me when they come to my house, even though they're like eating my food and using my resources, and they don't even look at me while they're there. I say things to them and they don't even realize I'm in the room. Like they went to bat for me back in 2009, and like they're a good friend, and I value that relationship. Like you got to really be keenly aware of how things have evolved at this point in time too. We have to be very careful. I'm getting chills. Okay, this is important, not just for Aquarius, but I mean everybody. We have to be careful about over relying on past precedent, okay? Because things have changed. All right, things have changed. We are in a different paradigm, especially past the time of August 10th. So past that second week, for everybody, we are in a different paradigm. And we actually need new relationships right now. We need new people in our lives. We need to see the tests that are currently in front of us as those that are needed and those that are frivolous. We can put ourselves through too much, and we can also be a little bit like oblivious to the current context or to how people are now. So it's important to see things for what they are, and then to just give that also a contrast, like undervaluing people too. We have to be very careful, especially Aquarian people. Again, the past precedent, like seeing someone back in 2009, they only came to my house and they were only there for the Wi-Fi, and they only came in and ate my food. And, they even had an attitude with me when they spoke, and I tried really hard to level with them, but they never reciprocated anything. And then now here in 2021, these people are like really putting in the effort. They've changed their lives. They've, gotten an incredible job. They have their own Wi-Fi now at their house, and they've even like invited you over, and they want to like cook meals for you. They want to like help you in some way. And you're like, back in 2009, they just leached off of me, and that's who they are. And I don't value them. And they're like here, and they're like ready to help you. And maybe they even have like contacts that could be life-changing for you at this point in time, but you're still using that past precedent. So kind of long-winded, I know, but it's important to just like think about it. I think it's really important to make space for the way, not only that other people have changed, but the way that we've changed too. Back in 2009, I was, trying really hard and making a business and really working hard. And I'm that hardworking person. And, now, even though I can't get out of bed, I sleep 14 hours a day. I'm like on unemployment. I'm a really hardworking person, like it clashes. There's a clash of lifestyles and how the past precedent is no longer relevant too. So that's really, really important to sit in veneration for the fact that past precedents is not something to maybe base our choices on at this point. And I mean, there are still times where it's important, but we at least have to compare the past precedent to the way that things are right now, okay? To the way that things are here in the present, because the people that struggle the most in August and for the rest of this year are the people who have not updated their ponderings, or people who have not updated or compared their, rigid evaluations of people, jobs, places to how they are now. Paris was different in 2009 than it is now. New York is different in 2009 than it is now. The value of certain currencies were different in 2009 than they are now. Okay. And we have to really wake up to this. And this is what Aquarius energy is about, is like realizing the change, that fixed change, that fixed difference. And it's visible, it's real, it's there. And if we can't see that, if we're having old, outworn evaluations, there's really like a lot of boring experiences and lack of opportunity there. Okay. So ultimately, as Aquarius, with all this retrograde energy, looks back and kind of compares how things were, how things are now, there can be like a lot of clicking, okay, a lot of clarity, a lot of like realization of exactly what you need to do. And you can really get a great grasp of your time. And that is ultimately very powerful for you. We talked for a long time about intuitive messages. Let's get into this week to week. Week 1, you have 2 of Pentacles rooted down by 4 of Pentacles. Okay, it's all about material stuff. It's all about worldly decisions. How much do I spend? How much do I save? Any type of budgeting work is great in the first week. Also, pondering certain decisions, making sure that we're looking at both of these decisions in an updated way and not in an outworn way. And I think it's worthwhile to think about, how would I have made this decision in 2009 versus how would I make it now? And to see that is also very powerful. It's really like kind of like a historian, kind of like a philosopher who can see the changes, who can not also look back through the current lens. Okay, so being able to see how things were many years ago through that lens, through experience, and not getting stuck or distracted by looking back through the current lens, rather looking at the present through the current lens, if that makes sense. Also grudges. 4 of Pentacles rules over grudges. It rules over what we're still holding on to from a long time ago. It's important to transfer these things now. So that grudge needs to now be transferred into motivation. All right. And in the second week, you've got the World rooted down by 6 of Pentacles. So that could be the end of a contract, the end of a lease, the end of a certain living circumstance as well. I could see downsizing or upsizing, just a change in status. Perhaps 6 of Pentacles is a status card. And you want to kind of see where you're at with that. Like, are you the person begging, or are you the person being like very benevolently giving? Like both of those roles are not great because neither of them are really how they seem. And you got to get more balanced and find the middle ground, perhaps. And the World is always an indication of an oncoming ending. It's the indication of having finished a cycle or being in that ending phase. Like it's not ended yet, but we are approaching that. So whatever that means to you in the second week. Week 3, you've got King of Swords rooted down by 6 of Wands reversed. So it's important to get confident in your knowledge, to really own the knowledge that you have. Any type of self-deprecating words like, well, I have an expertise in investing and I can tell you that this particular investment from my expertise might not do so well, but I don't really know anything. I'm not really very smart about these types of things. Watch out for that, okay? Try to really own your knowledge and own the expertise that you have, because you might become very sought after for what you do know. And that could be life-changing. So week 4, you have Page of Pentacles rooted down by the Sun. That's where this sought-after, life-changing thing is coming in. So we're building up over the entire month, updating the knowledge, updating the precedent, updating the way in which we own our knowledge. And then there's a need, okay? So perhaps new employment, new promotions, new bonuses, or new businesses, new investments, right? And it's very honest. It's very real. It's not like shadowy. So to offset this, be careful about like investing in things that don't match your ethics, but you just want a return on capital or something. That's not very up to date with the way that things are now. Like in this paradigm, there's no rewards for just only looking at the money, only looking at the, material side. There's got to be some kind of relevance. Like I really believe in like the purpose of this company, or it really matches my personality. Like the investment can't just be about, if we want them to be successful and not just kind of dwindle away, there has to be some kind of ethical matching, I think, for people to feel truly that they have a connecting point to it. Money in and of itself is no longer really the connecting point. Energy in and of itself is no longer really the connecting point. There has to be a real passion in what we're partaking in, I think. And that's indicated in that 4th week. Also, you might learn of a truth. You might learn of something that you didn't know, and it's going to clear the slate, or it's going to heal something for you. The Sun in Page of Pentacles is about growth. So as plants need sunlight to grow, you could have that as well. Like finally there is something you needed. Finally there is the light shed on something that helps you to grow stronger. So happy growing, Aquarius. I'm going to do an extended reading for you on Patreon. I hope you enjoyed this longer general reading here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't had the chance to yet, and comment below and let me know how it resonated. The extended reading, we're going to look at central themes, supporting themes, and an overarching significator card, and get more insight onto this growth cycle for you. That will be linked below, and it should be linked in the center of your screen now. Happy navigating. Happy August. Bye, Aquarius.